Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Hummel, a tier 6 German SPG. It's located on the north spawn of Pilsen and it's under the command of Crimange 72. Okay, battle's underway. It's a tier 6 game. And, well, he's bumped up against the KV2R, who I think is desperate to get to the factories. Now, the Hummel is based on the hull of the Panzer IV, the Mark IV, but it's actually got Panzer III running gear and a 15cm howitzer, which makes it pretty effective. You only get 18 rounds of ammo though, very limited on the ammo, but you do get stun and a lot of damage if you can hit the target. The alpha damage from this gun, 680. And that's what it can do. Yep, it can wipe out a tank just like that. You got a lucky shot there on that Leopard. Now moving up on top of the hill. A lot of Arty players do tend to come up here. I think it's for the fact that you can get that sheer cover from the enemy. They can't really see you very easily with all these trees and shrubs in the way, but it does also allow you to shoot down this alley towards the tanks that are coming up to the side of the factories, and also to shoot into some of the factories themselves. I'm going to Panzer Mark IV there, and there's a 45 TP at that gate and an OI experimental. Going for the 45 TP, rounds out. Ah no, what happened there? I'm not sure that actually hit the 45 TP. I think it exploded on the girder. That was a very unlucky shot. Reload time is around about 23 seconds. Not seeing the exact time for Crimange here, but it'll probably come up sometime. The mods sometimes don't activate and doesn't tell us exactly how much time he's got off. He's got a Striv 74 and an SU 100 over there. Striv 74 is the Swedish medium tank, which is the Striv 42 with a different turret, and he fired at the SU-100 instead. The shell landed short. That probably did some splash damage, but not very much. Now, I said that this is a tier 6 game. There are some tier 7 tanks in there, actually. I didn't realise that at the start. And there's some tier 5s in there, so we're middle tier, not top tier. Going for the Striv. Direct hit this time, 270 hit points. Yep, our side's got a KV3 and a Challenger, whilst the enemy team got that 45 TP and a Stura Mill. Okay, most of the enemy seems to be staying out of the factory area. They're just on the south approaches to it. And an OI experimental, a tier 5 Japanese, turned up, and he really hasn't got the armor to withstand that 15cm shell. So he takes a big hit, a non-penetrating shot, but still a big hit. And he's put back again. Glutton for punishment. If we did get a penetrating shot on that OI, he would be out of the game in just one shot. He'd be gone. And that one landed just behind him. He pulled forward just far enough to avoid the shell. Okay, we've got a KV2 in the factory grounds there, facing off against our KV3, who did lose some hit points there. Wasn't a penetrating shot, but we can certainly put some damage onto that KV2. We're almost loaded. I know the mods are showing that we are loaded. Rounds out. Yep, good hit. 228. That's encouraged the KV3 to go in there and do some more. He's stunned. He's pulling back. And no, that OI experimental is coming in from the other side. Now, I didn't see which gun the OI experimental was mounting, but he might have the HE one. We haven't got a shot at the moment at the OI. Okay, we're going for the SU-100. The OI is down. This is a very difficult shot because we're shooting over the top of the factory. Good shot! Right into the rear of the SU-100. 305 hit points, but we lost the KV-3. So they are moving up through the factories now. And that KV-1's in a lot of danger. Oh, and he's gone. The SU-100 got him. Nice shot on the 45 TP. 327, a good hit. And the enemy are on their way this way. Now, normally I'd say relocate, but I don't think there's anywhere he can go, to be honest. Mind you, he does have the T-67 to spot for him, so he's just sitting up front watching where the enemy's going. They're down to just 3 of them now. The Achilles, the T-67 and Cremange in his Hummel. And I'm not so sure they're going to win because they're facing 6 opponents. So they're outnumbered 2-1. And the 45 TP just made a quick pass, so I think he's going to probably go around the back and come out the other side. There's the KV-1. Good hit right on the rear. 203 hit points. You can be sure he knows exactly where we are now. And of course that information's probably filtering back to their Arty. Now their Arty's an AMX-13 F3. But he seems to be a bit of an inexperienced player. He hasn't got any kills. Just looking for sign of the enemy. I think they're sitting behind that corner, behind those oil silos. I should say oil tanks, not silos. At least I think that's what they are. 45 TP realised he'd made a bit of a mistake, popped out for a second. Oh, now we've got the KV-2 coming up from a different angle. He's going towards the cap, and we can probably splash kill him. He's no need to. The T-67 saw to him. The Achilles is covering our cap. And there's the 45 TP making his way through the factory. Lovely hit, 227. Potential high caliber, and the T-67 takes the kill. So it's now 3 versus 3. It's looking a lot better, but he just got stunned by the AMX-13 F3, who suddenly worked out exactly where he is, but didn't get an accurate shot. It was a near miss. You can see the spot on the ground, exactly where the shell landed. In the meantime, he's now aiming at the Stura Mill over near the coal pits. Fires a shot in. I think that did hit, actually. There was no explosion, or we switched away very quickly. The Achilles has found the Stura Mill again. Right, we're going to hold on that corner. We've marked it. That's good. Let the teammate know that that's where you're covering. He's found the Stura Mill again. He just needs to fall back, draw the Stura Mill in, fall back, and we'll put a round into him. No, he's trying to do it on his own, and he failed. And in fact, actually, it was the AMX-13 F3 that got him. The Stura Mill was holding him there on that corner for the Arty to do the job, and we were wanting to do the other way. If Cremange had actually indicated that to the Achilles, he might have fallen back, realising that yes, it would work. He's just said a balanced yes. Well, now it's just Cremange and this T-67. All depends on his view range and how far he can see. We do know he can see a fair distance away. If that Sturmill moves towards the cap, we might be able to get sight of him. It might not be if he's at the far edge of the cap, but just looking for any sign of destruction. You see we get an intermittent red line every now and then. That's because there are those raised structures, and they would interfere with the shell. Oh! The MX-13F3 has been found and the T-67 headed south. That may have been a fatal mistake for him. He's now engaging the T-67. We're going for the MX-13F3. We get the kill! One shot him out of existence, but the T-67 is now in dreadful trouble. And yeah, that was a huge mistake. Absolutely massive, because that means now that there is no chance of winning this game. We're going to get attacked from two different directions at once. And despite the fact that Cremarge will do his best to hold off the enemy, he's going to have to stay in plain sight. Well, he killed the KV-1, but he has been spotted. He's pulling back to avoid the Sturmill. But as you know, the Sturmill does have a rather nice gun. Even if it is a very slow one, it's got a very large alpha. And if he does get close, with his gun depression, it'd be very difficult to get a shot on him before he kills us. Ideally, we need to move closer to that edge, because that's where he's going to come from. He's holding back for cover. If he does win this, it'll be a miracle. Changing position, he's not happy about that one. I think he thinks that the Sturmill's going to come from a different direction. And he wants to change, or is he going to try and drive away? No, big mistake. He's come out into the open. The Sturmill sees him and puts him out. And we had a similar battle to this only a few days ago, and somebody in an M12 moved after they were waiting for the enemy, the last enemies to turn up, and they got spotted and killed, and it's happened in this one. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. And well, it's a first class tanker for Cremarge 72 in the Hummel. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in that game. He managed to get 13. He got a Gore medal for doing more damage than 10 times the hit points for his own vehicle. And he also got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, but unfortunately he lost it. He did get 2 very good kills, the MX-13F3 and the KV-1 towards the end. But I think if he'd stayed in the bushes and waited, he might have had a chance. Driving out into the open, he gave the game away to the Sturmill. And I think if you just stay there and sit there in the bush, you've got more chance than if you let the Sturmill take a pot shot at you, especially with that very big gun of theirs. So let's have a look at team score. There you go, highest damage, 2,721 hit points of damage in that game. The next highest scorer was in fact the Sturmill with 1,356 for him. And after that was the AMX-13F3, 1,322 hit points. When it came to kills, it was down to that Sturmill. 5 kills for him alone. 3 kills for Cremarge and also for the T-67. If only that T-67 had stayed in the bushes and spotted for Cremarge, I think that would have made the difference, because I'm pretty sure that he would have been able to spot and take out that Sturmill at distance. He did take out the KV-1, he did take out the AMX-13F3, and I think the T-67 was a bit presumptive to try and dash down the other end of the map, take out the Arty, and also find and kill that KV-1. Yeah, you had a much better position when you had somebody holding your back or able to fire rounds into the enemy till they were low enough on the hit points that you knew that one of your shots would do the business. When it came to base XP, it was the KV-1 who had the highest amount, 747 for him, 717 for the Sturmill, and the Panzer Kampfwagen 4 Aslains H managed to get 685. Unfortunately, Cremarge only managed to get 598. He fired 15 rounds, so he still had 3 rounds spare at the end of that game. Got 11 direct hits and 1 penetration on the enemy, splash damage on 13. Damage of 2,721 hit points, of which 2,518 were at more than 300 meters. He received one hit. It was a penetration. It was from that Stuhr mill. And there was one hit as by way of splash damage, and that was from the AMX-13 F3, who managed to work out where he was, but not to put the shell accurately on top of him, which was a bit of a surprise. Maybe he was a bit too much of a novice. He damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 3, and did 170 hit points of stun assist off 10 stuns. On a free-to-play account, he earned 30,911 credits, got 4,211 from the Achievements Award for getting an epic medal in a losing game. Total came to 35,122, and after repair and ammunition resupply, he took away 15,403 credits. Earned 598 base XP, 345 for the Achievements Award, took away 943 altogether. Well, yeah, I'm afraid this is basically a repeat of the M12 game we saw recently, where one of the players on Cliff was nicely ensconced in a bush, waiting for the end of the battle. He had an M40, M43 partner who was elsewhere on the map, could still shoot into the cap area, and if that M12 driver had just sat there in the bush, he would have spotted the enemy as they came up to try and cap, and that would have enabled him to give back that information to the M40, who could then take them out whilst they were sitting there capping. And if only he'd stayed there, it would have been okay, but he decided he wanted to move at the last minute. And I think that's a bit of good advice to someone who's playing a game like this. If you happen to be the last one alive and you're expecting somebody to come up to your position, stay in the bush, find your firing position and stay there. Don't keep moving about, because if you do, you will make yourself obvious to the enemy and then they will get you. But if you stay in the bush, then they have to come and try and find you. And if they have to come and try and find you, you might surprise them. Many a time I've been in battle where I've been sitting in a bush, a tank came up right in front of the bush and didn't auto-spot me, and they only noticed I was there when my shell hit the side of their vehicle and took them out, and then they accused me of cheating. But I promise you, it does work. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, hit that notification button. And sorry if we're having problems with the quality of the videos recently. It's not down to us. We're putting out 4K quality HD videos, and unfortunately, some reason YouTube are downgrading them to 360p when they get to their servers. Now, I have heard from other people that maybe this is something that's a major problem for YouTube at the other end. But we are uploading HD quality videos, and sometimes we're re-uploading them again because we find they're 360p and they're still coming out at 360p after the second reload. And we've checked and made sure that there is something wrong at YouTube's end. So if you do find it's a low quality video, do let us know. We will try to upload it again to try and get a good quality. But if we can't get that quality, then it must be down to YouTube having very poor servers. But thanks very much for watching.